Here are 5 news stories you missed today in South Korea. An elderly woman in Seoul donates her entire life savings to a university she didn't even attend. A woman in her 90s walked into Kyunghee University with 50 million Korean won, or about 36,000 USD, and insisted it become scholarships for struggling students. She'd never been to college herself but spent decades saving. She refused any photo, gift saying that I couldn't study, so I want students to keep studying. Very thoughtful thing to do. With the presidential elections less than 24 hours away, a woman accused of double voting attends a warrant hearing. A government worker, and it gets more juicy, a government worker was caught voting twice, once with her husband's ID, then again as herself 5 hours later. She even served as an election official handing out ballots. On Sunday, she tearfully told reporters that I'm sorry I made a wrong choice in the moment. Voting twice in South Korea is a serious crime which can get you up to 3 years in prison. With over 20 million ballots, double voting not going to make a huge difference. However, it does make a huge difference with trust and the actual process of voting. And Chinese nationals account for over half of foreign-owned homes in South Korea. For the first time, foreign-owned homes in South Korea topped 100,000. Chinese nationals alone snapped up over 56,000 properties, and Americans 22,000 and Canadians around 6,000. A lot of these homes, as you can imagine, are in the Seoul area at around 72%. With a housing crisis happening, especially in Seoul, people are calling for stricter rules for foreign national owning homes. And you might have already heard about the arson case that happened in Seoul subway, but you won't believe why he did it. A man in his 60s set fire to a subway on the Line 5 in Seoul. His reason? He was furious over a divorce ruling. On Saturday, he poured flammable liquid inside the carriage and smoke quickly spread. Over 400 people had to flee into the tunnel. 23 people, including the suspect, had to be hospitalized for smoke inhalation or minor injuries. And the property damage, over 330 million Korean won. Over a divorce settling that had nothing to do with the people on the subway. The last story, which is one of my biggest pet peeves in South Korea, secondhand smoke is on the increase in South Korea. Secondhand smoke exposure in indoor public places jumped 8.6% in 2023 after 3 years of decline. Seoul Station, starting this month, June, is going to become a no smoking zone and fines up to 100,000 won if you are caught smoking. Especially if you got kids or elderly people, this really does matter to you. Share your thoughts down below about today's news.